I'm TJuki, and welcome back to the Code Character tutorial. I believe this is part 22. I could be wrong on that one, but I think it's 22. In this part, what we're doing is health and armor pickups. I've created a few models which I have uploaded to the website, the link will be in the description. And I just laid them out. I've got a small health kit, large health kit, small armor, medium armor and large armor. What I'm going to be doing is doing it so the player character will come in, run onto them, and then they'll pick them up. It's going to be quite simple, you know, just run onto it and then it's collected. Now, to do this, what we're going to do is each of these models that you add, make sure you have a box collider on them, and it's set to trigger. The reason for this is when the player walks into it, I want it to trigger, and depending on what sort of armor it is, because I'm planning on doing one script to cover all of these. So this one here, large armor, if it's large armor and the players run into it, it increases the health by 100. Then there's mediums 50, small is 25, large armor is 50, large health is 50, and small health is 25. And I also want to make these rotate, kind of like arcadey pickup sort of system. To do that, we're going to create a new script. And I'm going to say item rotate. That way, this script we can use on other things like coins and other collectibles in the levels. We can just use this script to just plonk it on, and then the items will rotate. Now load up the script. And then the first thing we need to do is, I believe in the update function, actually sorry, I need to declare a speed. Whoops. What I do is I do a private float underscore rotation speed equals 30f. 30 should be alright. This is, I'm going to set this so how fast the actual, this will be the number of how fast the object spins. The reason why it's a float is because delta time is a float. It does it by seconds, milliseconds, minutes, etc. So it's a float. It's the real reason, because if I want to make sure the thing rotates according to the game time, then it needs to be a float as well. Now this one will be a transform.rotate, and then it'll be vector3.up. Oops. Yep. And then what I say is let's go rotation speed times time dot delta time. And that's the rotation script done. Believe it or not, it's that simple. Now what we need to do is we need to go back in Unity. Now each of these, what I have done is they've got box colliders on them and everything, but I've also put this model onto an empty game object and rename the empty game object, say here like small health, large health, small armor. I've basically attached I've renamed the empty game object, and I've actually attached the object to the empty game object. Now this empty game object is what I'm going to put the rotation script on. So it's going to be on here for all of them. So we get the rotation script, item rotate, and then I drag it on the small health here, large health, small armor, medium armor, and large armor. If I click play, I have no errors. See, they're rotating. Probably I'm missing a script. There we go, remove that. Just I was doing some testing before, so ignore that. Now with them all rotating, what I need to do is we need to do up some sort of pickup. So to do that, let's create another script. I'm going to call it item pickup. I'm going to reload all. Now what I'm going to do is we need to create a few. I've got 5 at the moment, so what I'm going to do is do a public ball and call it small health. Public ball large health. I'm going to default these to false. I believe if you don't put any parameters in here, so if I just leave it as large health, it defaults to false anyway, but I like actually having this up here. Now that's my health. I want to do a public ball small armor, public ball medium armor, and public ball large armor. The reason why I'm defaulting this to false is because this script's going to go on multiple objects, so I'm going to use the inspector to dictate which one's which. Now we're going to be using a new function. It's already in Unity, so we just have to say void. Then we use on trigger enter. What this means is if there's an object that's a trigger and this script is attached to it, when you walk into it, same as we did before with the lasers, when we walk into this, it's going to execute this. So I'm going to create a few, about 5 if statements. So I'm going to say if small health is true, and then I'm going to do that for all of them. So if I copy all this, let's say large health, small armor, medium, if I can spell medium armor, there we go, medium armor, and large armor, there we go. And then what we need to do is I set up a broadcast. So messenger dot broadcast. I'm going to say small health pickup. And then underneath this I'm going to say destroy and then game object. Game object with the little g is the game object that this is attached to, this script is attached to. If I hover over it, it says the game object this component is attached to. A component is always attached to a game object. So this will get the game object that this is attached to and destroy it once the player's picked it up and it's broadcast the message. So what I could do now is I can actually copy this and put it in a large health, and I'm going to say large here. Large health pickup, and then I'm going to rename this to small armor pickup, and then just copy this and paste it a couple of times here and here, and then call this medium, and then this large. Whoops, that's a capital A when it shouldn't be. There you go. Now if I save that off, what we can do is go into Unity here, and now I'm actually going to attach this item pickup script to the actual model. So here we notice we've got the box collider and we've set it to a trigger. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say item pickup, drag that in here, and then this one here is a small health, so I'm going to tick that box, so saying it is small health. This way you can have multiple, so if you've got coins you can have is coin or whatever. Now if I click on health kit large, item pickup script, large health, and I'm going to do that for each of these. There we go, that's all that done. Now we need the broadcast messages to actually do something. So if we go into our scripts, go to player HUD, and then down here we have on enable, we've got messages, is laser hurt. Now what we need to do is create another 5. So messenger, not that, messenger, there we go, dot add listener, and small health pickup. Then after this, I'm going to call this small health pickup. Now we won't find these, so we actually need to create them. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom of our script, do a public void small health pickup. And now what we want these to do is we actually want these to increase the player's health. So to do that, it's quite simple. Underscore current health plus equals, and the small health I'm doing 25, so that's 25. Now we'll do public void large health pickup. Let's go current health plus equals 50. Public void small armor pickup. Let's go current armor plus equals 25. Plus equals 100. There we go. So I've got all my 5 pickups here now. If I scroll all the way up to the messenger, see there I've got no errors under this one. So I could just add some more. So if I copy this and paste it one more time, and call this large. Because you've got to make sure that this listener is exactly the same name as the broadcast. And that's Armour. Small armor pickup, and I could just copy this here and paste it 2 more times, and I say medium armor, and that's large. There you go, got all our listeners in here now. Let's save that off. Make sure that the to pick up script is saved off, yep. And they are the correct names, yep. If I go in here, do I have any errors? Nope. And then click play. Oh, by the way, for the sake of this test, I've also said I've got no armor. And my health is like pretty low, so if I run in here, oh, whoops, I killed myself. Should we do that? Yeah, that should be enough. Enough health gone. Now what I'm going to do is walk over the small health kit, and my health went up, and the items disappeared. Now if I go into the large health kit, my health's gone up, and the item disappeared. And now the small, yep, the armor worked, the medium armor worked, and the large armor worked. So now I've got all my pickups, and I run into the laser again. Dubba dubba dub. And that is the pickup system. Now next tutorial, which I believe will be out Monday, we're going to be doing the changing level. So when we change level, our health and armor and everything, we're going to have to save that, because at the moment it's all dictated by how much health and ammo we have at this current moment in time. Don't want that. Like, what I mean by that is we use a script up here in our FPS controller to dictate how much health and armor we have. So my current health, so all this I'm actually going to hide. So actually I don't believe this tutorial's gone on too long. It's 15 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare for the next tutorial now actually. Just a little bonus on the end of this tutorial. So if I go player HUD, I could do this as private, and I'm going to copy this and make the armor and the armor bar lengths and the healths private, and the ammo, we don't need the ammo public. There we go. Now if we save that off, and then we look at the script now, it's hidden completely. We just have the GUI elements showing, which is perfect because we don't actually need a over the top HUD there. We've done a bit of testing on the health now, we know it works, so we don't actually need this to show. This is what we need to do here. Is my armor, current armor 0F. The reason why I'm having no armor is because I want the people to start off in the game with no armor. If we start this up, just doing the hard code, is that fine? Yep, hard coding's fine. And there we go. And that way now we can save values. So I click game, free aspect. We can do values. We can save the values. So if we edit the values in the inspector and we launch the game, where the values we have saved are going to overwrite what we change in the inspector anyway. Because we know the health works, what we could do is load in the saving. So each time the player completes a level, it's going to save their current health, their armor, their score, everything. So what I will do is, after this video, I will do another tutorial quickly. So second tutorial today, and that will be the scoring, because I ideally want to do the change level with the score in there already. So when we do the change level script, the score saves, the health, armor and ammo save, and then it changes level. So when you die, you'll respawn on that current level, because we also need to save the current level when you hit this trigger here as well, so that updates. But anyway, I've been T-Junkie. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.